What's going on, fam? It's your man, VACAY-J, and yes, I'm back with another video. This is for Bel Air episode 2 recap, right? So we saw episode 1. Definitely was an interesting episode, and now we're going to get into episode 2, where Will is trying to adjust to the new school and adjust to the family, right? So again, if you remember Fresh Prince of Bel Air, yeah, this is the updated version 2022. So where we left off, we see Carlton, corny Carlton, and Will. They had a scuffle at the beach party, right? Because Carlton pushed Will into the pool. And yeah, the whole school pretty much was there and they recorded it, right? So now they're back at the house and Aunt Viv is questioning Will and Carlton as to why they are fighting, why they are doing this, why they're acting like that. Corny Carlton calls him a thug, and she's like, yo, don't even talk to him like that. And, you know, Will's just like, yeah, he got mad when he saw me and Lisa talking. And she's like, what, Lisa? Right? And then she looks back at corny Carlton, and yeah, she figures it out. Yeah, she figures out that, yeah, he got jealous. And she's like, okay, I understand what's going on here. And Carlton's just like, yeah, well, he was crowding her. And Will's just like, yo, we were just talking, man. We were just talking. She's like, that's it. Both of you guys go to your room. You know, Will goes to his room. Carlton's just like, why are you taking up for him? She's like, I understand why you acting like that. You know, I don't get it. Like, really, I understand why he's acting like that because he's trying to adjust. But you know, you are acting like a jealous ex-boyfriend, basically, you know. So, and he is. You know, he's taking his little thing, doing his little thing with his anxiety problem that we're finding out. But yeah, you know, Aunt Viv, she's really not having it. She's not trying to have these guys fight like this. So, of course, she talks to Uncle Phil, and they both seem to be really upset about what's going on. Uncle Phil, you know, was told that, yeah, they're going to try to take him to court or whatever, unless he does this and that. And he's like, well, you guys had a party with underage kids drinking. So, you know, their whole try to scamming Uncle Phil didn't work out. So they're talking about Will and Will having to adjust and everything. And they said, listen, we both going to talk to Will. And if he doesn't say what we need him to say in order for him to stay, then he can go to boarding school. He's not going to go back to Philly, but we're going to have to do what we have to do. So let's go talk to Will and see what's really going on, because Will's been getting in trouble and everything. So they go to Will's room, right? They tap on the door, go to Will's room, and Will turns around and he's crying. He's like, what's going on? What happened? You know, and kind of find out, yeah, Will's boy back in Philly got shot. And yeah, they don't know if he's going to make it, right? So, of course, he's upset. That's his boy. He feel like he abandoned his boy. Of course, Aunt Viv, she's just like trying to comfort him. It's like, oh, my God, it's going to be okay. You know, Uncle Phil definitely, you know, he's hitting the heart as well because, you know, he definitely has an affinity for Will. But, you know, anybody connected, he doesn't want to see Will upset. So Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil got to figure things out. Now it's the next morning. We got corny Carlton, and he's eating breakfast or whatever. And yeah, you know, Hillary, man, she's turning out to be a real great chef, right? And yeah, she has this thing coming up. She's getting prepared for everything. And of course, you know, Carlton is taking shots at her and everything else like that. And yeah, we're finding out that Carlton, man, he's really just upset about everything, for real. He's just a miserable kid, right? So, you know, they're at breakfast, eating their food. Will comes in. And, of course, Carlton's looking at him all crazy. And he's like, yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning. You know, he feels a little uncomfortable. Right, so Will comes in and, you know, of course, Carlton is still mad at him for what happened, you know, the night before at that beach party. Hillary, she's making food for Will. And yeah, I mean, it turns out Hillary definitely knows how to cook, right? So yeah, Will sits down, he asks him how he's feeling and everything. And they're really concerned, you know, because they heard about what's going on, that his his boy got pretty much shot or whatever. So Carlton, he really doesn't care. He's just really upset with the evil eye, right? So everybody's just trying to be cool, trying to, keep a cool, positive vibe. Hillary says, hey, I heard about what happened. Is it all good? And he's like, yeah. But yeah, it looks like I said, Hillary knows how to really cook, and Will is filling this recipe right here. All right. So, of course, Aunt Viv is just like, yeah, you should do like a shrimp po' boy or whatever. And Hillary's on some like, yo, I don't come to your job and tell you how to do your thing. You know what I'm saying? I want to do my own little special spread or whatever. So they're kind of going back and forth about it. And she's like, yo, just let me be me. Let me do me. Right. And Ashley, she's just being quiet and being cool, just listening to what's going on. Right. And, the father, Uncle Phil is just like, yeah, you should definitely be different to be a star. And Will is like, yeah, how you going to be cool or whatever. And he throws shade at Carlton. And Carlton's, trying to throw something back at Will, and they about to get into it. But of course, Uncle Phil's like, listen, whatever happened last night, both of y'all need to put that behind you. Is that clear? And he's looking at Will, and he's looking at Carlton. And of course, they're like, yes, it's clear. It's clear. He respects his father. He don't want to do anything to mess things up with his dad. So he's going to do whatever Uncle Phil says. Right? So, he's about to go do an interview with Big Boy at the radio station. Right? And Ashley's like, yeah, isn't that supposed to be for like cool people? And he's like, yeah, that's why somebody else hooked it up. I'm going to do my thing. Right? So Will tries to talk to Carlton, but Carlton's just trying to find his keys so he can drive to school. And he's really kind of waving off Will. He's like, I don't care. Just get to the apology. You just need to apologize. And he's like, yo, you put hands on me. Will is like, yo, you put hands on me. You deserve that. You deserve, what I did to you or whatever. He's like, well, it is what it is. I guess you have to find your own way to school, because he was supposed to drive him to school for his first day. And basically Carlton left him standing there, and he has to find a way to school. So, of course, Aunt Viv, she's like, yeah, I see what's going on. And she's just like, yo, I understand you're trying to adjust to things and everything. But listen, again, we're adjusting as well. Here's the keys. And she gives him the keys to the Lexus. And now he's driving to school. Will is now trying to call his boy, and he calls his boy to leave a message. And he's like, hey, man, listen, I heard about what happened. I wish I was there. But next time I call, definitely pick up. And I know you're going to get better. And he's like, yeah, I got to tell you about what's going on out here. It's crazy out here in Bel Air, right? So he's getting himself adjusted, trying to be himself. As Jazz suggested, don't let him change you, just be who you are. So Will goes on the campus, and he's walking around, and he sees your boy Carlton with his peoples, right? With his corny crew, right? So he's like, all right, let's go. And he looks at him and walks away. So now Will is on Bel Air Academy campus. He's trying to talk to some people, give them compliments. He's really trying to, be cool and kind of like be cool and make some friends, because he doesn't know anybody there. He doesn't know anybody there. So he goes to this class, and looks like he went to the wrong class, because the bell rang and nobody's in the class. So he basically is like, yo, what's going on? He's looking around, and the security guard sees him. He's like, yo, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be up here, da-da-da-da. He's like, give me your ID. And then he gets a flashback of what happened in the park with the police, and he starts running. And he runs onto a stage where Carlton is giving his little speech or talking to the junior class. So the guard comes in, and Carlton's like, hey, hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got this. It's cool. Let him stay in. He's like, everybody, this is cool. Like, let's bring him over. Let's bring over my cousin, right? So he basically kind of introduces Will to the whole junior class, right? The whole junior class. And he's like, yeah, he's running around. He obviously didn't find his way. Hopefully he will adjust. But let's give it up for Will. Let's welcome him to Bel Air, right? Basically, just kind of like introducing him to the junior class, but really on some like sarcastic, snide type of way. Carlton, he's really still upset about what happened. He's like, yeah, so tell us about, all the classes. Did you have any AP classes? Did you have this class or that class, right? And he's like, no, we didn't have any of those classes, And he's like, yeah, it's okay. Will made his way here, underprivileged kid. And Will's trying to say, hey, don't get it twisted. But Carlton cuts him off and he's like, you know what? It's all right. Thanks for coming. Let's give him a round of applause. And, they clap for him. And that's one of his teachers, right? And Will's just like, yo, man, that's messed up. Like, you trying to play me. And Carlton's like, listen, you don't want to mess with me. These are my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I run this school. Like, I'm one of the most popular kids, and I run this school. So don't try to mess with me, right? So now we shoot over. We see Big Boy and Uncle Phil, and they talking about the campaign of him running for district attorney. And, basically talking about how wealthy he is and everything else like that. And what is he really going to do to really make things happen? So they get phone calls, and all these people want to know is, how much money does he make, and, and all of that. They really don't care about anything else. They really want to know how big his house is because he lives in Bel Air. And they're not really trying to get to know him as a district attorney. So it doesn't look like the interview is going as well as he thought. Now, Will rolls up on the basketball coach. And you remember he played basketball. Will plays basketball and he's really good. And the coach is pretty much just like, yeah, I heard about what happened last week with that whole fight thing. And basically, if you want to be on this team, you got to try out just like everybody else. I know you're a D1 student or whatever. And he's trying to figure out why he got transferred over. But he said, listen, you got to try out. And if you want to be on our team, definitely got to try out just like everybody else. So he goes over to talk to Lisa and basically talking about the whole fight thing and, blah, blah, blah about they don't want to, mix her up in things and she doesn't want to get mixed up in things. And he basically is really trying to come on tour, of course, even more so. And, Will is really having a hard time adjusting to everything. But she's kind of letting them know it's going to be all right. And it's cool that they, remain friends after everything, right? So now we shoot over and we see Hillary. She's getting busy. She's at this interview. She's cooking up her stuff, her recipes and everything. And it's looking all real good. She's bringing out the spread and she's happy about what she put together. She put her own thing together. She didn't take her mother's advice. And, the folks, they're looking at it, they're tasting it and everything else like that. And it looks pretty good. But the thing about it is it's probably a little bit too spicy for their taste. And she's basically, they're basically like, listen, while this is all good, it's very unique. This is definitely not, the taste that we're looking for. And she's just like, well, my family loves it, da, da, da. And then they come out and say, well, your family's not the ideal family that we want to cook for. Very offensive, right? So, of course, Hillary gets offended, right? She's definitely offended about it all, even though she's keeping her smile on, right? Keeping her smile on, even though she sees exactly what they are about. So, they're really not filling her dishes because it's a little bit on the ethnic side. So now here comes this new cat. His name is Tyler. He comes in late and he's like, Tyler, you're late. He's like, well, late. What is late? What is late? Da, da, da. So he says all this stuff about capitalism. He's like, whatever. Just stay in your seat and take this test, right? So Will sees how quick-witted this guy is. And it seems like they're going to be cool, right? So meanwhile, we see corny Connor and corny Carlton talking, but they see Will, and Connor rolls up to Will, and he shows him his phone with some documents on it. What's on it? A restraining order saying that he can't be within 50 feet of him on campus and this, that, and the third. And he says, look, everybody, you're a witness. He's like, what? Get out of here, right? So Carlton rolls over to him. He's like, listen, man, I understand. I get it. I apologize for punching you. This is your world. You're running it. And he's like, it's a little bit too late for that. So let's fight. So now Carlton wants to fight Will. Like, are you serious? And Will's like, listen, man, I will beat you down. Like, seriously, you don't want to do that. So Will's just like, you know what? If I win, I lose. And if I lose, I lose. And he just walks away. He keeps restraint and he walks away. So now Hillary's back at the house and Aunt Viv is asking her what happened. You know, why did you turn it down? You know, you turned down the offer, whatever. You basically didn't do it. And she explains that, you know, these people basically didn't want her dishes. She didn't want her. And, you know, Aunt Viv is on some like, yeah, well, you know, I told you, you know, you're going to have to adapt and shift or whatever if this is what you want. And Hillary's just on some like, yo, I just want to be me. I'm not trying to adapt and shift. You know, these are my great recipes and everything, and everybody loves it. And if they don't want it, then they just don't want it. And Aunt Viv is really trying to go in on some like, listen, you just got to adapt. You have to change. You have to shift and do whatever. But Hillary's not trying to do that. She's just trying to be who she wants to be. And she wants to do things the way she wants to do it. She wants to do it on her terms. And, you know, Ashley's like, oh, so you basically got to sell your soul? And she's like, nah, it's not like that. So now we shoot over to Will, and Will asks Jazz to come through so he could practice on playing ball or whatever, just so he can get his mind off of things. And he just wanted another person. So they're playing ball, and Will's getting flashbacks of what happened in the park with the police pulling him over and everything else like that, and him getting arrested. So, yeah, he's flashing back to these scenes, to these things while he's playing ball. And basically, he breaks down exactly what happened to Jazz because he has a lot on his mind, a lot of pressure. And, you know, Jazz is just there to kind of listen in and really kind of like hear him out, you know, so they're becoming cool as well. So now Aunt Viv and Will's mom talk on the phone, and Will's mom is like, yo, I don't appreciate how, you know, Carlton is basically trying to, you know, come down on Will, you know, how he's picking on Will. And Aunt Viv was like, yo, you know, Will clearly beat my son down. And she's like, you know, Will's mom was like, yo, you're supposed to take care of him. You said you're going to take care of him. You know, this is not taking care of him. She's like, yeah, I know. I'm on it. We're on it. You know, we're going to take care of him. Don't worry about it. You know, everybody has to adapt, right? So, you know, it looks like a lot of people are just trying to relieve their stress. And we see a record playing with Tribe Called Quest. And Uncle Phil, he's listening to Tribe Called Quest. Making some adult beverages, sitting down with your boy, you know, and Jeffrey, and they're talking. It seems like they're more like business associates. They're more like boys instead of, you know, like it was before. Before it was like, yeah, Jeffrey was just a butler or whatever, but yeah, he's talking to Jeffrey on some like, yo, what should I do with Will? And Jeffrey is just like, yeah, I mean, give him some time to adapt. Like, it's not going to happen in a couple of days. Just give some time. He's like, I've seen him. I'm looking at him. He's trying to figure things out. And basically, Uncle Phil, you're going to have to meet him where he is. You're going to have to go where he is. You know, instead of being all high and mighty trying to figure it out for him, you need to go and connect with him where he's at. You know, so we go on the ball court, and Uncle Phil's there, and Will is, you know, just practicing, just playing some ball or whatever. And, you know, Uncle Phil, he grabs the ball as well, and he shoots whatever, and he makes it. And, you know, Will's just like, oh, okay, Uncle Phil, I see you still got skills and everything. I still you got it. And Uncle Phil basically explains, like, yeah, he set up this whole basketball court for Carlton, but Carlton fell in love with lacrosse and all this and that. So now he's really trying to relate and connect with Will, which is a good thing because he can really get into Will's mind and find out exactly how he feels and what he's trying to do. And he's letting Will know, hey, listen, man, you know, this is a new place and that you have to adapt to. And, you know, the greatest thing you can do to win on the court And win in life is to make sure you have your head on straight. Make sure that you're good, mentally. Like, get your mental together. And once you get your mental together, man, you can accomplish anything, right? So we getting some Uncle Phil wisdom, right? This is the Uncle Phil wisdom that we knew before and that we love. And yeah, he's just like, yeah, you got to basically control your mind and don't let anything get to you, right? And then they start shooting around. And yeah, Uncle Phil definitely came to him on his level, right? So he's shooting around. Will is making the shots. He's encouraging Will to continue to keep striving and keep it up. And then we see your boy Carlton on the other side of court just looking. Jealous. This boy is just jealous of everything. I mean, he don't like what he see. He's seeing his father be like, what? That's my nephew right there. He's making the shots, being very encouraging to him. But so it looks like Carlton feels like his parents are just on Will's side and that's it. Right? So Will gets another call, and he gets a call from his boy. His boy FaceTimes him, right? Trey, right? So he's like, okay, Trey made it. And Will's just like, yo, I wish I was there, man. I'm sorry. And he's like, what? If you were there, shoot, if you were here, you would get shot too. Like, what could you have done? So he's definitely showing love. They showing love to each other as boys. That's his brother. When they went through it or whatever, he shows that it's, hey, man, it's all right. I'm going to be okay. It was just a flesh wound, and I'm going to be okay, right? So Will is like, listen, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to hit you later so I can tell you exactly what's going on out here, right? So now we see the Corny brothers, Connor and Carlton, and they're walking, and Carlton looks crazy, man. He looks mad at the world. Lisa's like, yo, Carlton, can we have a word, right? And she's like, listen, I appreciate it if you just keep me out of it, you and your cousin's discrepancy, because it's not my fault. You're making it seem like it's my fault. So Carlton's like, yeah, I apologize. I definitely keep you out of it. It definitely is what it is. And he's basically on some like, yo, I'm still feeling you. But she's like, yo, man, like you got a lot going on. You got a lot going on. And he's just like, yo, but you messing around with Will, and that's getting me, he's getting jealous or whatever. And she's like, yo, listen, you got bigger issues, man. You need some help. You definitely need some help, and I do care. I care that, you need some help with your anxiety. And he's like, yo, it's duly noted or whatever, but I'm going to give you an advice. Stay away from Will. He's nothing but trouble, right? So he's still hating on Will regardless, right? So now we see Will. He's talking to Tyler, and Tyler plays on the basketball team. So Will goes to Tyler on some like, yo, give me some advice because I got to try out for the team. And Tyler's just like, yo, it's all about the work for the coach. He wants to see that you got the fundamentals down. Definitely, don't showboat. And don't celebrate after you make a shot. Just go back and get on defense and all this and that. So he gives him some good advice for the tryout. Now, Hillary is upset about what happened at that interview, and she's going to her people on social media. And she's letting her people know, hey, they basically diss me and diss my food and diss my family. And, this particular company, they're not particular about, they're very particular about the type of family that they're targeting. So she goes in to get the people on social media's opinion. So now it's tryouts, and Will is about to go in, right? Coach is there. It's like, all right, Will, show me what you got. So Will starts to get busy on the court. And, at first he's trying to, catch his bearings. He's trying to get himself together. He's trying to make some shots or whatever. He's missing here and there. And, of course, he's upset about that. But, he's just trying to get himself together mentally, again, getting his mental together as his Uncle Phil suggested, right? So he's missing shots, giving it to the opponents, and all of that. He's trying to get himself together. But his boy Tyler's like, yo, man, just get your head in the game, man. You got this. You got this. He got some encouraging words. So he got his West Philly shirt on, and Will starts to get busy. Right, starts making shots, doing assists, and everything else like that. He's making things happen on the court. The boy is doing his thing, and he's showing the fundamentals. He's not celebrating. He's not showboating. He's definitely taking the advice that Tyler gave him, right? So he's playing basic basketball, and the coach stops everybody. He says, all right, hold up. And he calls Will over. He's looking like he's disappointed, right? He's looking like, yeah, I don't know, Will. And what happens? He's like, hey, welcome to the team. Gives him his jersey. He's like, all right, go celebrate, right? So Will is just like, oh, thank you, coach. You know, Will basically earned his way on the team. He's like, yeah, thank you. You won't be disappointed, you know. And he's like, yeah, you better make it happen. Now go ahead and go celebrate, right? Because he doesn't, you know, he's not really into that. He just wanted to see if he had the basic skills, and he definitely does, and he plays well with the team. So, of course, Tyler's like, yeah, you know, there wasn't no doubt you was going to be on the team. But here comes the coach. He's like, all right, celebrate with some suicides. Right? He's like, man, come on, coach. So Will goes into the locker room, and he sees, you know, Carlton on ice. And Carlton's like, what are you doing here? This is only for the sports teams. And he's like, well, I guess I'm in the right place now because I'm on a team. And he's like, how did you weasel your way into this one right here? He said, well, you know, after what happened last week. And Will is just like, hey, I rocked the competition last week and I rocked the competition this week. So Carlton is just a hater, man. He's really just a hater. He doesn't like how Will is just coming and infiltrating what he has because, yeah, he's about to lose power. So, you know, Carlton's like, yo, whatever, da-da-da. And Will is just like, yo, man, you think you're trying to get in my head? He's like, listen, I'm all up in your head. And guess what? I'm coming through, man. Just be ready. You know, you think you're trying to break me down? Nah, I'm coming through and I'm going to break you down. You know, I'm going to be more popular than you, getting all the girls and the whole nine. And yeah, I'm coming. So Will is just on some like, yo, bro, you can hate me all you want, but guess what? I'm coming through. So Will, he's giving fives to his boys. He's clapping it up with the coach. He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to see you later. So he's about to go leave. And a security guard, bald head, big head security guard comes over. He's like, yeah, let me check your bag. And Will's like, yo, come on, man, get out of here with that, right? Tries to walk by him, puts his hand on his chest. He flashes back to, you know, what happened at the park again. And he's like, listen, I need to check your bag. Right now. And he's like, yo, come on, man, there's nothing in the bag. He's like, we could do it easy. We could do it hard. Just make it easy on yourself. Let me check the bag, right? Comes out of nowhere. Like, why would he need to check his bag? Why? You know, Lisa's looking on. The whole school is looking on. Like, what's going on? He searches the bag, and he finds some stuff in his bag. And Will is just sort of like, yo, that's not mine. Like, yo, what do I need that for? What is that? You know, I don't even know what this is. I'm an athlete, man. So he's pleading with the guard. You got Corny Carter and Carlton and them looking on, but, you know, Connor's smiling like he knows what's going on. And the guard is, you know, he grabbed up Will. And Corny Carter says to Carlton, see, I told you I was going to take him out. And Carlton looks at him like, what? What the heck? Like, what you mean? What do you mean by that? Right? So, yeah, the whole school's looking on. Lisa's looking as well. They're all kind of looking disappointed. Like, really, Will? Really? And, yeah, Will is looking back at Carlton like, yo, man, what the heck is going on? And Carlton is looking like, yeah, he's like, really? Well, I expected this or whatever. But, you know, they still beefing. And Will is just like, man, this is messed up. And he takes him in the office. So that is the recap of episode 2 for Bel Air. Listen, fam, this Bel Air definitely goes way harder than the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Bottom line, definitely drop your thoughts, your theories. Listen, if you're brand new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Absolutely like and comment below. And yeah, we're going to go into episode 3. Look out for the episode 3 recap. And we're going to continue on with this season, this series of Bel Air. I'm feeling it so far. So let's continue to make this thing happen. And you know what it is. It's your man, VACAY-J. And until next time, salute.